Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Hope you're doing well today on this Wednesday. It is Tuesday, October 7th. My tea bag today says, relate to your greatness and not to your weaknesses. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Relate to your greatness and not to your weakness. Bam. There you go. Never had that one before either. Oh, let me cut the deck. A lot of disturbances in my world today. I had a neighbor that was like crying profusely and listening to all this like emo music and stuff, and that going on. Then I heard what sounded like kind of like a dog attack outside. I heard, when dogs are not just regularly barking. It was just something. It was something intense and aggressive that I heard going on. I hope it wasn't between a person, because then moments later I heard someone walking through the courtyard saying, yeah, I've been bit by 2 pit bulls or something like that, or been bit by pit bulls 2 times or something like that. There was a 2 and there was pit bulls, and I'm already terrified, just from that statement alone. But yeah, there was just a lot of noise, unusual noise. And then last but not least, and I hope none of this has anything to do with the reading, but we already know how it go. My son was like captivated by this video on YouTube. The title was like, Karens Try to Fight the Police. It's like one of those compilation type of videos where it's different real life clips of instances where, people go off or whatever. And I wouldn't have paid it no mind, honestly. I didn't even know what he was watching. I was in here shuffling my cards, getting ready, and he kept coming in, giving me these updates on the story as it was unfolding, like, and then this happened. Then he'd go back and watch, and then this happened. And it was like the one man was drunk and asleep at the wheel with his foot on the brake, and the cops kind of pulled him over and didn't pull him over, but they pulled him from the car and questioned him. It was a calm exchange in that regard, but then he was apparently waiting for his feminine counterpart who was in the bar that he was outside of, and when she came out, it was like all hell broke loose. And she was like, this is all my son telling me this, mind you, I didn't see any of it. She comes out, she's kicking, fighting the police, telling them that they don't have permission to search her car, when apparently they smelled marijuana, so that was, their gateway to search the car. And because he admitted to being intoxicated behind the wheel. And if it wasn't for her, it would have been a balanced exchange, but she came out and just escalated to 1,000. So she comes out and she's like literally fighting the police, kicking and screaming and just being super aggressive. And so then they put her in the car. And in the end, the man, he more or less got off. I don't know if he said scot-free, but it wasn't a very aggressive charge against him, because first of all, he wasn't moving. And second of all, he was cooperative. But the feminine, on the other hand, she wasn't released that night. And then the other thing he told me, this is all his updates, is that he told me, now I thought he was just watching a flick, like a reenactment or something, fake on YouTube. Then I realized this is a real story. What are you watching? He said when they searched the car, they found like hella marijuana and pills or whatever. So that's what really brought the house down. So yeah, so she got charged up, with aggressive assault and, whatever, all those other charges that you get when you try to fight the police. Interestingly enough, I was like, I know they ain't black, because we wouldn't even be privy to the story if they were black. And lo and behold, they were not. They were of the Caucasian persuasion. No shade to anybody out there, but we know the double standard out there. And ain't no way that no feminine. Honestly, and I said this to myself, I was like, if she was a black woman, she fighting against black cops, she never would have stood a chance. So it's not even just white against black. Just in general, we know certain behaviors just ain't gonna fly. with the boys in blue. So anyway, I have no idea what that was about. We'll see if it comes up, whatever. But the fact that he literally came in here 4 different times, to the point where I just kept laughing, because I'm like, first of all, I don't care. I don't want to hear this. But second, what are you watching? And third, why am I hearing it right now? So given I was actually in the midst of shuffling my cards, and I'm telling you, it's just been a lot of disturbances around my neighborhood in general today. I don't know, maybe some things are coming to a head karmically out in the world. I don't know. People are maybe losing their shit a little bit. To all those that still have a hold on theirs, just hang in there, okay? I guess that's what I'm saying in this moment. Yeah. And PTSD. This is mental imbalance, energetic imbalance. As a matter of fact, like something just ain't quite right, a little bit off with this character. First of all, he's looking back at his actions, thinking with deep regret, and I don't know about remorse. It's more regret when I get this card. It's not. I feel like the 5 of Cups may be remorseful, more so because it's more of an emotional energy, but the 9 of Wands feels more regretful to me because it's more action induced, like thinking back on things that you did and either wishing you had done something differently, or just having a disdain for the position that your actions have put you in at this point. So for me, I can't really explain how it pans out for me energetically as to how I receive it, but I feel a difference between regret and remorse. Regret usually just wishing that you had either done something differently or didn't get caught. You know what I mean? Like whatever you invested your energy in, wishing that it had a more positive outcome, as opposed to the impact that your actions themselves may have had on others, or whatever, the unfavorable outcome was. There's usually someone else that has been impacted in some regard, but this is an energy that's not really that's why it's like energetic and mental imbalance, because he's not really in the position to have an accountable observation, to have like accountable self-awareness. He's too fixated on the past and what hasn't gone right to really just take accountability and responsibility for his creation or co-creation in whatever this circumstance is, let alone his present position, let alone how he can move forward more powerfully, more productively at least, so okay, so that's the 9 of Wands. So let's see where we're going with this. Tuesday, what's today? Tuesday, October 7th, right? Yeah. There's more competition and chaos. Okay, got 2 out. Good. All right, let's see. This one, okay. This one came out first. You see how I kind of tossed it sideways, though? That was interesting. There perhaps may be a bit of a struggle with victory and success, or some elements or something is trying to disrupt that progression. And the source may be unknown at this time, or the blockage or stronghold is what I'm hearing. And we're talking about the moon, which is emotional. Let me move these down a little bit, because my straight game ain't been really gaming lately. When I look back, I'll be annoyed. So hopefully these are a little bit straighter than usual. The moon card is like deep dark emotions. It's Cancer energy. What else? Something hidden under the surface. This is also competition. Here's some energetic influence or perhaps even interference. This is somebody walking away. This is the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, this energy is all over the place. Then we got the Queen of Swords. And anytime my deck is like spread like that, there's always like something hidden, you know, more to the story, which is why I entertain the cards that peek out, because it's like it's more to it than meets the eye. This is someone that is seemingly transitioning into some successful outcome, but something here is either meeting them on the road, or there's something that is something mysterious or mystical is meeting them along the way. Now, I don't know if that's actually going to stop, block, or just intensify the journey, but it's here nonetheless. And then what else we got? So we got poor energy, poor and prosperity, perhaps, competition, and some launch of attacks maybe. Or is this a return of energy? I'm not sure. My stomach just growled when I said that. And somebody, what is this? I just got to see what this is. Oh, Queen of Wands energy. Justice is here. And Seven of Cups. So much under here. And then this is back out, mental instability. And then one more, the Queen of Cups. So much feminine. Three queens out of 4. Who's missing? The Pentacles. Because we got the Five of Pentacles here. So money is not is not the matter at all, or maybe it is the matter, or lack thereof. We got this guy kind of more or less in the middle. And then if I'm looking at anything, it's seeing this energy here, which is the feminine aspect of this duo. The masculine is hidden in the Five of Pentacles. But something has just, some corruption has corroded, is what I hear. Hold on. Some competition has intensified to an aggressive nature. But what I'm saying is that the intensity of the aggression, okay, now I understand. It's like the intensity of the aggression that ultimately was created within the group is now backfiring on the group, if that makes sense. It's like what could have potentially have been like almost casual, or dare I say harmless competition. I don't think it was really all that harmless. It just maybe just that the competition was covert. It was under the surface. Yeah, like there we go. Okay. Everybody wants to have victory and success over the other, but in a very secretive and mystical way, you know. And this is one person that, you know, ultimately this may be the expression of the Queen of Wands, which makes sense because what does she have but a wand in her hand? This is someone that was feeling like the victor ahead of the rest in the Five of Pentacles. This is the 6. The 5 is what she's leaving behind. But it's like either the energy that she left behind is catching up with her, or just in general, like I said, this mystical energy here is like you can't escape what was created. She can't escape what was created. Queen of Wands being a creative queen. a very powerful queen, as a matter of fact. Like the truth of the truth is what meets her along the way. Or this could be some official. Where was that other queen? What was it? Where was the other queen? It was a queen of cups somewhere around here. I lost her. Here she go. The queen of cups is here. Now he's looking at her with disdain. That's what he's looking at, how he got caught up. Damn, you know what I hear? That this is one person with multiple personalities. Shit, that's what the mental, oh my God, spirit, you be, that's what the moon card is about. Or it's either somebody with literally multiple personalities, mental imbalance, energetic instability, all these wands. Perhaps this is the conflict within herself. She blows some shit up and then she walks away on to the next. And like I said, this is like poor health and finances. And she's the only one I see. There's a masculine behind here. But it's interesting that this always gives me masculine vibes too. And it's like she leaves people depleted and in despair and then puts on the next mask to do it all over again. And then puts on another, and look what position that he's left in. Then she puts on the next mask. Like in this facade, she's the queen of swords. In this facade, she's the queen of swords. And of wands. In this facade, she's the queen of swords. In this one, she's the queen of cups. It's like whatever gets the job done, she's like a scammer, or like a, and how do you say it? Like a fraud, like a what do you call it? And I want to say identity thief, but it's just is like somebody who ultimately puts on different identities, might even have multiple IDs, like different aliases. That's the word I'm looking for. That lives under different aliases to ultimately scam and finesse everything in her path, apparently, according to this shit. You know what I mean? Like she presents herself as a loving woman, nurturing, and maybe even perhaps intuitive in some way. And there was something else that was here. I forget. I lost it. But ultimately, here is justice. And what's that? The Ten of Swords. It's like the game is kind of over. Maybe that's what she's moving into and doesn't realize it. That she thought, she hit this last lick correctly, but lo and behold, along the path, there's something that's going to stop her in the tracks that maybe perhaps she's never encountered before, which is why this ultimate, and then the Seven of Cups here, this mysticism, illusion, her own delusions, as a matter of fact, because she's so used to just getting away at every turn, like this is multiple licks just in my hand and I can barely hold the cards, but somehow, like I said, that there could be an official, someone in the justice system that's hip to the game at this point, and her typical illusion that she may even have some type of glamour magic or energy, like some way that she finesses the system in her favor that, is going to work against her now. And perhaps because of this is like active energy left in her wake. Maybe perhaps this lick here, she left too activated. People still got enough power to pounce on that ass, pretty much. With the Eight of Swords, it's like the anger intensified in her absence, or on account of however she left, whatever disturbance she left behind. It grew from the 5 to the 8, which is between that is the 3 of Wands. Waiting on your ships to come in. Maybe they were waiting on something that she had promised or was supposed to be the missing link for. And instead of her coming back with the goods, she got away with all the goods and like almost disappeared into the night. Well, that energy was too active, whereas before, in other instances, she leaves people so depleted that they almost can't even really fend for themselves. They're so imbalanced. Like this person literally has no resources. and their energy is low. This one is mentally unstable and energetically unstable, imbalanced. And it's like she still is able to somehow maintain this facade of innocence in some regard, or in one way, shape, or form is able to evade justice, let alone karma. But here's the temperance card here, so that's not for long. And in spirit and in truth is that implication, and the ending card is the Ten of Swords. So yeah, she was a part of this effort, probably a group of scammers or whatever the hell they do, or had at least implicated someone in her schemes with empty promises of some great return, literally with the Eight of Wands, like some great, empty cup, empty promises of some great return, only to slip out into the darkness with the intention of never to be seen or heard from again. But I don't get the sense that that's where the story is going. Yeah, let's see where we at. All right. Wow. All right. Hence the chaos in the beginning of the story. Yeah, this is somebody looking in their cup. You see, remember I had the Knight of Cups, and it's like, here, I'm gonna give you this. And now they're looking in their cup and there's nothing but a fish in it. Bad, poorly invested energy, and whatever it is was, this promise, this offer. They realized that it didn't pan out the way that it was supposed to. They wasted their time and energy in some regard, and it's a great investment, not great as in good or prosperous, but a lot, a plentiful quantity, a lot of energy, a lot of money went into whatever this scheme was, or whatever this, I don't know. I keep saying scheme and scam because that's obviously what it was to some degree. Some investment opportunity at best that just didn't go well. And instead of, and I would also like to say that this could actually be a masculine in the definition of the booklet. It is a masculine energy, but I always see it as a feminine energy. And I know there's no coincidence for that, especially given the energy that I talked about when we first started, the Karen vibes, and especially given all those queens, like all the queens except for the Queen of Pentacles, because I get the sense that she never can quite attain that Queen of Pentacles status, or at least maintain it to her own satisfaction, because it's never enough, which is why she hits the lick. She can't help herself. It's the greed that takes over. She could have $1 million in a stash and it still wouldn't be enough. She still wouldn't feel wealthy enough, because her true value is not how she measures herself, as the Queen of Pentacles does. So that's why the continuum of chaos over and over again, because eventually the well runs dry, and so does her perspective of herself in the interim, subsequently, I should say. So it's like, all right, time to put on a new face, time to put on a new mask, time to assume a new identity. And it could be spiritually or energetically. Maybe she doesn't necessarily have multiple aliases or IDs, but I get that. I definitely feel that. I feel that strongly, that this is someone that has an alias, perhaps in every damn state, that she operates under some assumed identity to do dirt and get away with it, so that there's less of a trace, like, who? Tiffany who? Lisa what? I'm sorry, we don't have that person in our system. Yeah, so we got the Hierophant here and the Hermit card. What is this? Oh, here's the Queen of Cups again. What's this? The Hierophant is so maybe it's an establishment that she pulled it was a big undertaking, such as an establishment. Maybe that is the collaborative effort with the Five of Wands. Like this was a big one, her big one, maybe perhaps her biggest yet. Maybe, like I said in the cards that were turned over, she was used to doing this more personally, more intimately, person to person, finesse this guy out of this, finesse this one out of that type of thing. But she took on a big undertaking with a corporation or some established order of business, whether it be a collective of, say, investors or businessmen or partners, whatever the case may be. There was a collaborative interest between a connected professional interest here that formed a group or an establishment, and that's what she ultimately, and this is her ghosting the group. So what she presented herself to be a Queen of Cups in that situation. Someone intuitive, someone with gifts, spiritual gifts, I would say, with the Queen of Cups, especially when we got the Hierophant and the Hermit in the mix. That's somebody going within and following their inner light, their inner guidance. Oh, did she finesse a church? A church, or was finessing, as that was an alias of hers, as some type of religious leader or spiritual superior, whether it be by the sanctity of these gifts that she claimed to possess, or, I just heard oil snakes. What's that? What is that? Snake oil salesman. Yeah, that's what I heard. Snake oil salesman. So like, consider that in her little cup, that this holy oil, whatever healing essence or supernatural mystical essence she was expressing herself to possess, was really like olive oil. Just olive oil. Like she ain't even got the strength or the energy or the right mind to pray over it and make it anything holy or healing in that regard. So it was just oil, just regular ass buy it off the shelf olive oil. Stop, I can't. But she was presenting herself to be some holy woman, like to have these mystical powers, and maybe whatever her healing so-called capabilities were supposed to invoke some spirit of prosperity. Yeah. Now I'm thinking like, okay, that's in the spiritual, more fantastical sense. I'm trying to practicalize it because, I like to bring it down to earth, because everybody is not going to feel me on this. But if you're watching my channel, you should just start to get used to it, because this is more the vibration, the more that we're all coming into the knowledge of our gifts and abilities and such, that people, simply put, even the Bible speaks about false prophets. This is what that is, a false prophet. Somebody that claims to see into the future, or to be able to have some intuitive knowledge of what, to be some type of spiritual counselor to tell people what to do. And she particularly attached herself to men, because not only did that's what that Queen of Wands energy is. Not only did she used her feminine force, to seduce, to literally seduce with the Queen of Cups, to seduce, to manipulate, to, she might have even actually used her body, to really seal the deal in some regards. But this is someone that really knew no bounds when it came to the exchange of the dollar. So she was willing to really present herself a living sacrifice, from a spiritual essence to even a physical essence, to gain some coins, and perhaps even clout too, because we got the Six of Wands here, which is about recognition, rewards, and success. So that she was raking up in the deal altogether. However someone could help her to elevate or exalt her life experience in some way, shape, or form. It could have stopped. It could have been limited by material gain, but it also was prestige and power and position in some regard. Mastery with the Hermit card. That's Virgo energy. Very tangible, very earthly based for sure. But the way that she present, very, not even just earthly, like materialistic, I will say, because it's much more low vibrational than just grounded and earthly. This is somebody that's very materialistic, but she noticed she was hip to the finesse, hip to the game of how to get more than what you're really worth and what you're bargaining for through perhaps the channels of spirituality in some regard. This could be someone like a false tarot reader, or at least maybe not false, maybe because in actuality you can read cards just learning the definitions of the cards, but not everybody is an intuitive reader, and not everybody that has gifts uses them for good. Some people are actually quite exploitive with their gifts, even on this platform of YouTube and otherwise. They recognize that there's great money in either telling people what they want to hear or presenting yourself to be some voice of wisdom and understanding and insight to those that are just honestly just desperate to have some insight or some understanding. Like, people unfortunately, will spend a lot of money and time and energy investing in just wanting hope in exchange, for their hopelessness. Look at all that array of cards that I showed where everybody was kind of left depleted. Maybe she even engaged people at that state of hopelessness and vulnerability to, really make her mark, if you feel what I'm saying. So, all right, let's move on, because obviously we got that here. But I'm like, the Hierophant, because I'm like, that don't feel like Hierophant vibes to me. But like I said, that's a lot. I'm not taking all that. But like I said, she took her show on the road, and she hit a lick that was bigger, like her eyes were bigger than her stomach. Confirmation. She saw the overflow in the spiritual sense to be far more than, finessing a man out of a couple dollars out of his bank account, or, swiping his trust fund, or, whatever, getting, glamorizing and seducing men to invest in her so-called visions or dreams, you know what I mean? Like, professionally or otherwise, like she got a big idea or showing some great promise of success and getting people to invest in that with some promise of a return, some expectation of a return on their investment. They realized that, it was money not well spent. That kind of got a little bit old, and it seems like she went for a big, what do they call it? The long con, or the long, what do they call that? Yeah, here's a Tower card. And back to, that wanted to come out for sure. Yeah, so it's like she invested in people's sorrows. She knew that, like I was saying before, that people that are in a hopeless state of affairs are just looking for someone to tell them something good. Give them some hope, give them something to look forward to, and anything, God, tell me that I'm going to come, my luck is going to change tomorrow. To me, it's given that she was literally just bullshitting people across the board. Like, I would say that she actually had some gifts, but her gift and talent was that of the finesse. It wasn't of a spiritual nature. I'm not getting that. The Hermit card is turned away from this cup, which to me, like, it tells me that she hasn't had the fortitude to go to find insight that would really cultivate true gifts. It was all illusion, like under the moon, like it was an illusion. She was very good at the sleight of the hand, perhaps very good at communication, you know, very good at the production of mysticism, the whole shebang, you know, the crystals, the cards, the jewels, the even had material gain to show for it. So that's probably how she was able to prop herself as someone of value, especially to these that's what I'm getting. It was like probably to businessmen that she started, maybe not just the religious sector, but it could have been that too, you know, like feeding energy to maybe even preachers or other established spiritualists as some, like almost like the source of, how can I say this? Like some type of counselor. And maybe she was able to show them short-term results in some way. Because, okay, this is what I'm hearing. It's like she presented herself as a spiritualist, right? But one that is wise in the material manifestation as well. So it was like double form. Presented an opportunity not only for them to invest in her as their, almost like their spiritual counselor, or, you know, counseling them into their own prosperity, perhaps even claiming to be able to break certain chains off of them in an impoverished mindset, or, you know, like healing in some regard. Like she can break certain strongholds. Remember I said that? I said something about strongholds. Like she can heal certain strongholds or break them down because of this power that she has. Very tapped in, allegedly. Now, while she's finessing them, literally stroking them spiritually, she's also finessing them into some material scam or fraud, where because she's able to somehow gain their trust energetically and emotionally, maybe even physically, if you know what I mean, she gets them to lower their defenses enough to then invest in whatever this material thing is, scheme, pyramid scam, opportunity, whatever it is. She can show them short-term results, which gains enough of their, you know, buy-in. And honestly, I get the sense, this is all downloaded in real time, I get the sense that the short-term returns, like say she said she had a property for them to invest in, this great opportunity, you know, I don't allow, makes them feel real special. I don't get into business with everybody, but we have a bond, and I know you're really looking to break some chains. I want to help you. This is something that I have that you can invest in, and you'll double you'll double your return in this amount of time, and you know, you could just try it out, like see how it works out for you, and if you like the results, then I'll even allow you to triple your investment, like that type of thing. You know, this is all channeling because I don't even think like this. Okay, let's be clear. This is a channel. So she gets them. So they're already hooked because emotionally and spiritually she's lowered their defenses, right? So then they invest this money into whatever this thing is. Unbeknownst to them, this so-called return on their investment is just her spitting back money that she probably then heisted off of some other scam somewhere else. It's literally a Ponzi scheme because there is no investment. She's literally taking money that she already has gained from her other small time, you know, heist and scams. And that's the pull to ultimately project to this unsuspecting character in some way, shape, or form, I guess we can call him that, this victim, that your money is safe with me. So when they get this return, that softens lowers their defenses in a more physical, material way to say, okay, well, if I'm seeing a return, this is the evidence, the receipts that this must be good money. If you like that, I got another one for you, says her. So why don't you invest in this over here? I got this big opportunity coming up. And since you see what we can do, this is, you know, even bringing the Lord into it. This is all blessed because I'm tapped in and da. And the mystical aspect of it, especially if she's connecting with preachers or more, how can we say, because this is about like conventional religion establishments, or even businessmen too can fall victim to this too. the reason why there's probably, less of, there's probably more of an apprehension to really like attack or how can I say this? Like they would want to go on the defense to like pursue those that have been finessed already, like to pursue the return or some justice, right? But they're embarrassed because if these are preachers or men of the cloth in some rigid way, they're embarrassed for getting into bed with someone who has more mystical vibes when they're supposed to shun that as something like taboo, right? Or at least as something diabolical, I should say, ungodly. But look, they don't want nobody to really know that this is what I've been working with on the sideline. Meanwhile, I'm in the pulpit or whatever, or on my platform preaching prosperity. What do they call it? Prosperity. I forget the message, like prosperity preaching, pretty much as if this is something that the Lord is just blessing me with, when lo and behold, I've been finessed and been ultimately being bankrolled by a witch, is what she ultimately comes out to be. Because witchcraft doesn't even have to be limited to mysticism. You could be a witch with your words, a witch manipulating people emotionally, a witch using your body as some influence in some way when it's to the detriment of someone else. So it's not limited. So they're embarrassed to reveal the depths of their own selves with this moon card here. And if they're businessmen, the same is true, because businessmen are a little bit more conservative and structured, and to actually conceptualize the fact that they've been gaining their success over something as mystical as fortune telling is like a blow to their egos, not just to their personal egos, but even to whomever they are, presenting themselves to be authority over or some authority of in some regard. Not to mention the fact that they actually lose it all and have to fess up to, oh, I got finessed by, a witch ultimately. But this is the fate. Look, and here's the Emperor card. Exactly. Embarrassed. Egos in the way that they actually got finessed down to nothing on account of something that just ultimately was a sideshow. It was a freaking sideshow is what it was. Wow, that was a lot. So like I said, yeah, that was the Ace of Pentacles, and that's the truth. Oh, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, that's what was going on here in some regard. And here she go. Word witch. Psychological manipulation. Look at this. Ten of Swords again. And what's this? Is that the Hangman? No. Leaving people feeling completely depleted, like they missed an opportunity. They thought they was getting the Ace of Cups. Little did they know they were getting the freaking Ten of Swords. Actually, even in that regard, it's like he's rejecting that Ace of Cups and looking at the 3, because and there's justice again. They thought they were tripling their Ace of Cups by investing. Remember, that was the energy that I'm talking about, where they thought they were given to one thing. First, it started off spiritually, or just getting counseling, or being, finding she created some type of space safe. Yeah, it was that backwards. Safe space for them to express themselves. Because a lot of men of power don't really have sounding boards and soft sounding boards. That's why the feminine energy is so potent, because they're so caught up in their machismo. Even preachers, spiritual leaders and executives and just men of power in some regard are expected to uphold this certain persona, to the point where they themselves feel uncomfortable with their own emotions. So to find comfort and security, being able to first express themselves openly and honestly, maybe even the dark depths of themselves, to someone that doesn't judge them, or, that doesn't necessarily have an impact or influence, or so they thought, on their business or their platform or whatever it is that they are upholding, you know. That's one aspect of it. Then you got the part of it where the defenses are so low that you're actually open to someone actually pouring into you. That's um a double plus for people that are always pouring into others. They usually never have anybody, servants usually aren't served, they usually never have somebody that's actually willing to pour into them, to give them counsel, give them advice, lead them in a spiritual, give them type of spiritual insight that they may miss otherwise, So there's that. And then you add on the material piece, let alone the intellectual piece, because she presented herself to have some access. It wasn't just emotional and spiritual. She presented herself to have some access, or like exalted intellect as well, and it's particularly in business that I'm able to put all these pieces together and not only just make emotional decisions, but I'm actually able to make wise investment decisions that yield results. And then having the pentacle is like double, you know what I mean? It's like not even double. We're at 4 now at this point, literally she touches. And don't get me started on the wand energy, which did come up, where she can play on your temptations, on your passions, really kind of like lure you in energetically and lustfully, almost very covertly, because the front is the spirituality, but all along she's so good, she's good at what she does all around. Ain't no disrespect to this one here, like she's definitely a powerful force, but misguided force, unfortunately, because she's so good at what she does that you don't even know that you're yielding to a temptation. Like she makes you feel so comfortable and safe and secure to yield to temptations in the spirit, maybe to even take the business risk in the first place. And not to mention, if you're actually willing, and if she's willing to, take it there physically, then she really got you, because you're hooked in on all accounts, and it's like like I said, you almost are guilted and shamed. Hermit card, like it's like you almost want to hide, to go into recluse and seclusion and hide from the world, like even almost needing to try to figure out where the hell you went wrong in all this, because it's such a mind fuck at the end of the day, and you done lost some money, so woo, shit, this is crazy. That's that energy that was fighting that cop. Yeah, but it's like she's for sure. See, no, okay, this is what I'm getting from this film, because I felt this earlier with this Queen of Swords. Either this is her thinking she's outsmarting the system yet again, but actually gets slammed with it. I think it's that for sure, but I also feel like what the mysticism is, what she gets met with that she wasn't anticipating, is a feminine energy that is in charge of this order of justice. She's used to using her femininity to finesse. So men, unfortunately, are far more susceptible by way of their wands to fraudulent activity, even in the most, practical sense, than a feminine is, especially a feminine that ain't interested. And it don't seem like a Queen of Swords in this regard. Like she got her back turned against this flow, if you feel me. Like she's not really, and even if it's not that, like she could be a lesbian, who knows, you know what I mean? But it gives me that this is somebody that is definitely integral, honorable. This is someone looking at justice. She lives by justice. Like she takes her position. It could be an agent, someone of high authority. It could be someone within an institution that has some great power, perhaps within the institution that was finessed, that is like seeing something and saying something to the justice authority, the powers that be, or that is just willing to champion truth on her own in some regard and take some action, or be that blockage that would keep her. It's like wherever she thought she was going to get in, like for instance, maybe perhaps she has a female judge, you know what I mean, or some type of like the investigator or detective of whatever, because something has gone down, something is awry, and either, like I said, those energies have either banded together, and like I said, the intensity of their anger has grown, and maybe they have, it's trumped their pride and ego at this point, and they're willing to now pursue some legal action. And given the implication that has occurred, and there's something she probably is intending on, whatever she feels she has a hold on, she's been able to finesse her way out of trouble over and over again, one way or the other. I get the sense that wouldn't even be her first rodeo with the justice system. But the stop in the cog in the, what is it called? The cog in the flow, or whatever that statement is, whatever that saying is. The cog in the wrench in the plans, let's just say that, is she's going to meet a feminine energy that don't give a shit about what's between her legs, that don't care, that's not emotionally swayed one way or another, because she's not attached in that regard. All she's looking at is the cold, hard facts, the truth, the receipts, the evidence, what was said, what was done, what was lost, what was gained, where are the assets, what did you do with them, how did you gain them, were they invested properly, was there ever an investment in the first place? Like, this is somebody that's going to scrutinize all, and then with the Hermit card here too, somebody that's going to scrutinize every single detail down to the nitty gritty, and is willing to make a proper not diagnosis, but proper prosecution, I would say, and judgment in that regard, just based on the truth, not based on any type of, emotional draw or invocation, nothing passionate about it. She's just doing her job, upholding justice from the oath that she took to do so. Or, God forbid, it's like, no shade, but this guy is giving me this vibe too, the Justice card. Because, it's usually Lady Liberty, but this is definitely a masculine, right? At least to me. That is a gay man that she thinks that she can finesse. Now, this could be actually the legal system, or this could just be the roadblock that she hits along the path of whatever she thought she was about to get away with. And here you come across a gay man that you think you about to turn the charm on with, and he's like not here for it, not at all, like not at all. He's fierce about justice and is just as catty as you can be, as a matter of fact. Like, no match here is what I'm feeling. It's funny, yes, that was the Seven of Swords. Yes, this is not, it's not going down the way she think. This is funny. All right, I'm gonna start wrapping it up because my incense is low and I don't want this to be too long. So let me just get, let me stop laughing because I can't even shuffle right. All right, let's give me a couple more cards, Spirit, and we out of here. F this foolishness. Yeah, literally. You see how it went going? This foolishness, the Fool card, she's moving away from happiness. That's what, I mean, I don't get the sense that she was about happiness anyway, but I feel like this, because, this is also a judge, the Hierophant, that's judge energy. So perhaps, like I said, this last endeavor where she thought she was about to get the big payday, perhaps that's what she thought she was going to be able to retire from. Yeah, like she thought this was going to be the one to, yeah, look at that. That's crazy. Or maybe it was a particular person, like I said, a judge or something that was a big lick. And she thought this is the one. Like, once I do this, it's over. And then I'm ghosting right here. Ooh, I just heard something. Maybe it was a hit. And she had already dug herself into the finances of like this person in some way, shape, or form that had a great, had some great fortune or portfolio or, something of value that she was able to connect herself to legally, even perhaps maybe some documents she added herself onto, or just somehow she got access, literally access to some great fortune here, whether it be of one person or many. And that was supposed to be the one that really ended it all, which we know that never would have been the case, right? Yeah, because her true nature is the Knight of Wands, just lustful for money, and it's the satisfaction of the con for her now at this point anyway, and getting over on honorable men, so-called quote unquote honorable men as she sees it, like to defile them, leave them desperate in her in despair in her wake, you know what I mean, in the wake of her absence, and getting away with everything they hold value in. Like this is somebody ultimately that's been hurt. Look, coming from a family origin that's heartbroken, Three of Swords again, that's been hurt and perhaps even desecrated by masculines and has a vendetta, that's too many, that she carries out. Yep, judgment. She carries out her own judgment, perhaps materialistic men that she feel, I don't know, it's something deep rooted here that she hasn't healed from. So that's why, deep rooted despair here. Something tragic that has happened perhaps in her past that she hasn't reconciled with. So this is the rampage that she goes on. And it's of a familial essence with this 10 of Cups here, maybe abuse or something like that, particularly from a masculine energy. So she makes them pay, period. Literally makes them pay. Refusing, makes them pay. Seven of Swords, refusing to heal because money is she gets up in there, presents herself to be on the same page as them with some great value. Magician card, look at this shit. To be of some great value to them, something priceless or extremely, what can I say about the Ace of Cups? What is that? It almost makes them feel like they hit the spiritual jackpot with her in some regard, like they like how, like you struck oil. That's what I'm hearing. That's this overflow, this explosion of such, like they struck oil with this particular partnership, because like I said, she's hitting all four corners, spiritually and emotionally. She's intelligent and has vision. She is sexy and appealing, alluring, and she can make you some money. So they feel like they hit the jackpot with her. Little do they know, it's all a mirage, an illusion. And they only find out too late. I'm getting the sense that in her lifetime, she wasn't valued as she, as her natural self. And so she did a lot of work and ultimately cultivating these identities. She studied people to see what was palatable, what was alluring, what was tempting, what people idealized as intelligent, what people lusted for. Like she crafts herself into creating. She has like an arsenal of identities in her wallet per se, even by way of actual IDs, but she has an array of identities in her arsenal, is what I should really say, where she can literally at the drop of a dime flip and become whatever that person needs her to be. It's like you talk about narcissism. This is a sociopath. This is what this is. A sociopath and perhaps borderline psychopath is what I'm getting. Like she has, I'll say sociopath because clearly there's the energy of multiple personalities here. And some, even if it's intentionally so, it's like her own energy is not enough. She probably don't even really know who she is anymore. That she's put on so many different faces and worn so many hats that she just pulls it out the trunk, like literally like playing dress up, cosplay. That's what it is for her. Whatever gets the job done. But it's all burying, that's still too much too. It's all burying that inner child that, look, Page of Cups, that's wounded. That's all it does. That's all it's been doing. Yeah, she don't know. She don't know who she is anymore. So there's really no even affinity to a particular identity, for a particular identity, because she's been so many people at this point. She probably enjoys that more than she would ever enjoy returning to her natural self. Literally, look at this, depression. And here is the collaboration in dark spaces. This is her. A lot of times I see this in terms of like when people are trying to finesse documents in some financial institution. Here she is again. She tried to pull a big, this is her feeling like she's about to get over on the justice system again as well too. Trying to work some magic behind the scenes, maybe bribe some people, because it's not just energetic, like she's an illusionist, so she does whatever. It's like the talented Mrs. Ripley type of vibes. She can do whatever the job calls for. So in this regard, she's put on her justice mask and is trying to finesse maybe court officials or even lawyers or even judges in some regard that she thinks would be able to have some influence over her case and ultimately influence in her liberty. But like I said, lo and behold, it's not going to be what she thought. It's not. This Bitcoin it's not going to be that. It's going to be a missed opportunity because the energy that she thought she had laid hold to, she thought she had a grip on this opportunity. Like she thought she had it in the bag. It was good as spent as far as she was concerned. But there was a caveat in the plan that she did not see coming. Yeah, she didn't see it coming. And it's going to throw everything off. And I really think it's who she thinks is what she anticipates is going to be her legal fate, who she may even have petitioned for a particular judge, because she already has she got people on the payroll, Yeah, she literally has people in the pocket. But I don't know, it's something about timing here. That's not yet. And also the justice of the spirit. It's like the time is up for that. Like this one last lick that you tried to pull is being stopped. This is the mystical force that whomever is it's like who the judge she thought was going to be presiding that day has been recused for some reason or is sick or whatever the case may be. And now you got this other judge sitting in, and this person is of the light. This person is not going for the okie doke, So it's like literally too little too late at this point. And maybe she tried to get to file some injunction, or not an injunction, but like, I don't even know what that is legally, but like a delay or, that's what it is. So she would want to try to delay the hearing or delay the case, obviously, because she doesn't have this judge in her pocket, or something legally is not literally lined up here the way that she needs it to be in order for her to have the most desirable outcome. But it's like Spirit's like, no, we're going to keep going. No, the proceedings shall continue as intended. You know what I mean? Like, nah. Let me just get one more. This is so interesting to me that I'm just like in it, but I'm way past time now at this point. So if you still here, thank you. Yeah, like no, it's like no, you're You waiting on your ships to come in. Meanwhile, Spirit's like, okay, I got something for you. I was like, yeah, I got, or trying to, or this is that finesse. Like I said, you thought you was going to get over and offer this empty ass cup. First of all, you was tripping, think you was ever going to finesse someone that is truly of integrity and of the light. This is somebody that cannot be swayed diabolically. You know, these men of the cloth, these high-powered officials and, you know, executives and such, easy peasy. She knows what they like. She knows what to give them. She knows exactly how to make things shake when she needs to. But somebody that's grounded and rooted in integrity and valor and honor and truth, that is very committed and devoted to their oath and devoted to whatever position that they have taken responsibility for. No, it's like what's the Knight of Cups offering to an earth angel? Someone who has spirit and matter at their hand. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. Now she gets to meet the fate that she left for all those in her wake. And hopefully this means that people that have been disenfranchised unjustifiably. Now, some people got entangled with her, and it is what it is. You know, your instincts told you shouldn't have done it. Hell, your religion told you shouldn't have done it. Your perhaps even counsel, your literally inner guidance was saying, this don't feel right, don't do it. Keep your money to yourself, or keep your business to yourself. You know what I mean? You did it anyway. You went against your integrity, and this is what you got in return. So not to say, like, you know, not to victim blame, so to speak, but those that were looking for some return in an unjustifiable exchange, and also didn't listen to their supreme self or their supreme counsel in spirit or in truth, ultimately have to kind of eat whatever the result is, and hopefully live to see a better day. But let's see what's on the top here. Yeah, and it's caused, and there may have been some entanglements that are going to cause for some defense, whether it be of reputation, whether it be of the legal essence, like literally having to defend your choices, this being the more high-powered one, but not this one here, which was clearly, this was the facade that she was putting on, like to give this lover's, almost like the girlfriend experience, but not for everybody, but just that level of comfortability, you know, that security, that I can trust you type of vibe with the lover's card, when in actuality, it was like I said, it was a fraud. It was fraudulent. She was willing to pour anything, offer any cup that you would be willing to take in order to get you to exchange your vitality with hers, one way or another. And now people that have been disenfranchised in some way are finding themselves having to either defend their choices, defend their reputations, defend their positions of power, authority, let alone their prosperity, their actual assets, and maybe even legally, because a person such as this that now consider people that may have gotten roped in with, well, I won't bring that energy into it. Well, I guess I will. Like, I keep coming back to the DJ Envy and Cesar Pena story, Pena, whatever his name is, where now he's implicated someone of high stature, you know, that has a persona, that has a platform, that has a future, more or less, that has much to lose. Now he's roped into something that he may or may not have actually been an accomplice with or knowledgeable of the depths of it, but he's having to defend himself legally and more so socially than anything on account of the association. You know, that's what these people were probably trying to avoid and trying to like fight their battles in the underworld, like underground, not on the surface with actual legal representation and stuff. Like they were trying to get their street justice in one way, shape, or form. But I get the sense that they had to abandon those ideals for any any sign or any, chance of retribution at all, let alone restoration in any material sense, to actually go about it the legal way, which again, as I said, sheds a whole new light on who they are, what they do, what they've been associated with, what they fell victim to or finessed by, raising all types of questions about their integrity and their authority to be in the positions that they in, their competence, to govern, let alone counsel others, if these are actually men of the cloth or actually men of high business prestige or whatever. Like now everything, their whole livelihood ultimately is being called into question for them to have to defend themselves against everything just on account of a poor decision made. Literally a poor decision made. That's crazy. But she gonna get hers though. And everybody that's associated with her in a diabolical sense. Like, I'm not talking about people that were none the wiser, because we all still, the thing about it is, like, even those that didn't know exactly, like I said, like DJ Envy, he may not have known, I don't know, but he may not have known what he was truly in for. And now he's in over his head in some regard. And hopefully he sees his way out unscathed in the legal sense. But it's done a great deal of damage to his character in a social sense, because everybody now is weighing in with their own opinion on who he is and who he isn't, and did he know, didn't he know? Even me right now, me not even necessarily feeling, I don't know for sure. Like I've said before, I've always got a sense of with his integrity, something about him just is always a little bit phony to me. That's just my personal opinion. Like, he puts on airs a bit, and then when I learned about his background with his wife being like a trust fund baby, and he's definitely not, then I could kind of get the sense that he feels like he has a lot to prove or a lot to make up for, and perhaps what might be a bit of an imbalance in his union, feeling a little bit emasculated materially, even if he's actually not, So that's my own interpretations and, thoughts on that. But that could be the reason for the energy that I feel. But that is often the reason why people do the diabolical things that they do in the first place. And an energy such as this feminine aspect, is one that knows exactly what insecurities to zero in on, make you feel real nice and cozy and comfortable in it before she stabs you, like goes in for the kill, like a pig to the slaughter, but it's because when you make yourself vulnerable by way of pride and ego, unresolved childhood issues, unresolved insecurities and instabilities, then you're almost like a sitting duck, just waiting to be plucked, which is why I'm saying that everybody still is accountable for their actions and their reactions and their involvement or co-creativity in whatever this is, because somewhere along the way, there had to at least be some still small voice to say, no, I wouldn't do that. Or even an actual voice to say, oh, that sounds like a scam to me. Be careful with that one. Or I don't feel too good about her energy. Be careful. Maybe you want to do a background check, look a little deeper into that. There's always a voice. Now, if you are too high and mighty to hear that voice, then guess what? You're accountable for the outcome, you and only you. But it is what it is. So anyway, I'm done with this, but it was interesting, wasn't it? Definitely wasn't planning for that. So anyway, I'll leave it here. Take from it what you will. Be careful out there. Don't get finessed, especially men. Don't let the coochie kill you. Ladies, don't let the dick defile you. You be careful, because there's a lot of people out here that are looking to make good on what they have, the bad positions that they've ultimately, the holes that they dug themselves in. Pause, no pun intended whatsoever. But yeah, they want to dig themselves out and they may need your shovel to do it, you know. So keep the intuition high, keep your third eye peeled, and listen to that still small voice and your emotional intuition, that Queen of Cups energy, this Ace of Cups from a higher perspective, even a more supreme source that's telling you like, no, this don't feel right for a reason. Abort mission. All right. So in all things, I pray that you be protected and guided in integrity and discernment and in truth, and that your prosperity is covered and it multiplies, productively so, in honor, and that you are dignified in the positions of power that you are either stepping into or in the ones that you uphold, and that you're making wise decisions in that regard. You are empowered to do so, for sure, but it is definitely the responsibility and accountability certainly rests within you to do all you can to protect that position and that prosperity in the earth realm as you defer to more supernatural intel that we all have access to. You just got to be an open channel to receive it. All right. All right, for real now. Thank you for listening and watching. Until next time, peace.